Right. So that idea that AJ is evolving, I agree with. The idea that he has made all these adjustments, I don't really see that. And from the Pulev that I just saw, what I saw was AJ exhibiting the same mistake that I think he did in the Ruiz fight, and that is when he gets a guy hurt, he goes for the gusto. And in the Pulev fight, he didn't get Pulev out of there, and he wound up punching
Well, he
himself
got him
out.
out there in 3 rounds.
No, no, no. I'm saying he got him hurt in the third, right? And then he tried to get him out of there early, and he punched himself out without getting Pulev out
No,
of there, right? So it took a
no,
minute.
Pulev turned his back.
No,
By right, the ref should
my
have
point, my
stopped
point,
that.
my point is
He got him
when he
out
was
of
trying to
there.
when he was trying to get Pulev out of there after he had him hurt in the third, he punched himself out and had to
Yeah, he
recover.
gassed out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's my
Not
point.
all the way
That,
though.
that, that's my point. Is that
Yeah.
he's still when he has a guy hurt, he goes for broke. And in that Pulev fight, he actually gassed out, going
Not
for broke.
completely
Yes,
gassed
yes, I
out.
saw that.
No,
Let me,
no, no, no.
I don't really agree with that.
No,
let me, let me
he
just
didn't completely gas out because if he
no,
completely
no, okay. Well, this is
gas out,
all I mean.
he
All
would
I
have
mean.
scored.
All I mean is he needed to get a
He
second win.
slowed down on
Right,
round 4.
exactly. He had to get. That's what I mean by gassing out. Not
Yeah.
that he was completely done. Just that he went for broke. He threw a lot of heavy shots over a couple of rounds. Didn't get Pulev out of there, and then needed to recover.
I'm have
I
to
saw
disagree
it.
with that.
So,
The reason
so,
I'm
so,
going,
the idea would be the adjustment that he needs to make is when he has a guy hurt, instead of trying to brute his way through, be tactical in getting a guy out of there.
well,
Go
that's
to his
exact.
body. So
That's
go to
ex-
the body and start breaking him down instead
that's
of trying to
exactly what
muscle.
he did. That's what he
That's
did.
not, that's not what he had him hurt in the third. He got him out of there in the 10th.
Now
That's not.
hold on. Let me make my
That's not
point.
what. I wasn't even done. You're coming into a thing. I'm almost done, and you can jump in. So, I, he went back to his boxing ability, but where I think that's not going to really help him when it comes to the Fury fight. If Fury decides to use lateral movement, I don't see AJ as a guy that cuts the ring off very well, or is able to really. But what I see from AJ is his strengths are his combination punches from mid range, and he has a hell
I,
of an uppercut
yeah,
from up close, right?
Mhm.
So
yeah.
the issue is Tyson Fury is not a mid range fighter and doesn't really even try to engage you on the mid range, and he smothers you up close. So how is AJ going to actually catch the dude and then make him fight at that in spaces where Tyson Fury notoriously does not fight him?
That's a
Okay.
good point, man.
Well,
Team.
I think that I think you're making your assessment about the way he was. Like you say, he gassed out. I don't think he gassed out at all. I think what happened is that he was going for the gusto when he had Pulev hurt, but then he caught himself and said, "Whoa, no, let me just ease back a little bit." That's what I did against Ruiz, and I got knocked out. He eased off of Pulev and took his time. Okay, and so he actually made the adjustment. You saw the adjustment being made in real time. Okay, it's not about him gassing out. He didn't gas out at all in that fight. I didn't see no way where he gassed out. Okay,
He
so
slowed down
yeah, he just stopped and just eased off
and,
of
and
Pulev.
reset.
Yeah,
no,
because he realized that he was going in there and going too crazy and
Yeah.
Pulev.
Oh, he reset.
And the thing
Bro.
about the only criticism I have of him against Pulev is that when he had Pulev hurt, he was headhunting. He should have hit, did some body shots, but he didn't do any body shots. He just, he went for the head alone, which is not good. Okay. Now, as for the way he fought Pulev, I mean, I saw him, did a lot of adjustments in that fight. I mean, I saw him, he's moving his head. He's slipping punches as opposed to blocking punches, which is a good thing. I mean, I think he should move his head more. Okay, he needs to move his head more, not be so straight up, stand up. But he was slipping punches, and previously, he's the kind of guy who would actually block punches as opposed to moving his head from side to side, which he did against Pulev. So I mean, I don't think that he gassed out at all. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Lou, do you think? I
I think he gets
I
out?
think the referee was very negligent in that fight. That's my opinion. Pulev should have been out of there. It couldn't have gone beyond the third round. But hey, but go on, Lee.
Yeah. Do I think he gassed out? I don't. I think since whatever's happened since the second Andy Ruiz match, I think Joshua said he had some kind of operation or something. He said he had some kind of issue. that was affecting his stamina or something. But I don't think he gassed out. I just think he just erred on the side of caution. Didn't want to go steaming in like he did against Ruiz.
Yeah.
But I don't think he expected it to take him. I don't think he expected Pulev to rally back and for him to take him so many more rounds to finish the job from round 3.
Say that again. Sorry.
I don't think Joshua expected it to take him so long to finish the job. From the time he had him hurt in round 3 and he turned his back, I don't think he thought he would still have been there into the later rounds.
Yeah.
Well, Pulev is a tough guy.
He was extremely tough.
So round 6 and round 7 was like his probably might be a historic low for AJ's output. Like I don't know how you guys don't see that. Like for me,
I can see that.
It makes perfect sense for the shots that he was throwing for his 2 solid rounds. He was trying to take the dude's head off. It is human. That is a human response to not to need to recover. It's not a knock on the guy, other than he just needs to, when he has a guy hurt, approach it differently. We both agree that he needs to, instead of headhunt, go to the body. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not like we're talking about his historical stamina issue. The dude was just using his brute strength and throwing super heavy shots for a couple rounds. That's all I mean by it. I think he punched himself out, needed to recover, and the adjustment that he needs to make moving forward is once you have a guy exactly. Just start breaking the guy down. Just don't try to muscle him out of there.
Yeah,
I can see where he's coming from though, because like some of the mistakes that AJ made in the fight that you may not have noticed, if he makes those mistakes fighting Fury, they could be more detrimental, because Fury ain't gonna allow those little mistakes to slide.
Yeah,
he's gonna take every chance.
Questions, he'll get some answers. Yeah, you're right.
So I can see where Smokes is coming from.
I think, in terms of the fight, again, the difference between Joshua and Wilder, for example, is Wilder is a one-punch guy who's chasing that right hand the whole night. I think, like the guest just said, Joshua has combination punching, which is going to be the difference in the Fury fight. I think those combination punches and that uppercut is probably going to cause Fury some problems, especially the combination punches. And I think that, Joshua is a much better boxer than Wilder. So he's going to give Fury, he's going to give him problems, I think. It's not going to be an easy road for Fury against Joshua by any means, I don't think. And I think that Joshua also has the power. I think he's probably a heavier puncher he's a heavier puncher than Fury. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting fight overall. I can't wait to see it, actually.
Me too. It is going to be mad interesting. And couldn't somebody, one of you guys, talk about is there heavyweight prospects that you are feeling at the minute? Because we talked about Smoke. Did you see when
you're talking about Hrgovic?
Yeah. So
last week of the year.
Yeah.
I would say Fabio Wardley.
Fabio Wardley for you, Sammy.
I like Wardley. He's good. The other big baby Miller coming out of the U.S. is a good guy. I like Joyce, even though he's a little long in the tooth to be considered a prospect.
Yeah.
Filip Hrgovic to me is also, the dude's just been around too long for me to consider him a prospect, but his level of competition still says. Say again.
Who's two? After Joe Joyce, you talk about Hrgovic you don't consider him a prospect because he's been around.
It's kind of weird. He's just, he didn't. We've been hearing about this guy we've been hearing about Hrgovic for 10 years. So it's just
wow.
That's when he was sparring with the reason why David Haye got to postpone the Klitschko fight was Filip Hrgovic, Filip Hrgovic sparring session, right? So it's just kind of like a 28-year-old prospect is up there with Joe Joyce category for me. He's just a little long in the tooth, but I get why he's a prospect. I want to see him step up. My favorite though of that, if we're gonna say, it would probably be Joe Joyce. I like Joe a lot. Slow Joe.
I like Joe Joyce.
Daniel Dubois and Nathan Gorman are definitely still in the picture.
Yeah,
because
well,
they only have like one loss on their record. They can definitely come back.
yeah, Daniel Dubois can come back. It's just a shame how he kind of went out. Like on his first major test, he kind of failed.
Yeah, but to be fair, he fought an Olympic gold medalist. I think
Yeah.
it's a similar situation to the Dillian White versus
It was a
AJ.
tough fight.
They rushed him too fast forward. That's what it was. They got gassed to see him knock out bums in
No, I think it was a good
between 1, 2,
experience for
3,
him.
4 rounds, and thought, "Yo, we can put him here now." And they underestimated Joe Joyce. Thought, "Oh, Joe Joyce is 34, 35, 36 at the time, whatever." Negated everything that because this guy's powerful. Negated that, all right, he's an Olympic medalist. They never took that serious. They didn't really take any of Joe Joyce serious, any of his pedigree. So I just think that him failing was his team's fault, in my opinion.
Because I feel like it was definitely the right decision for them, because it
No.
was good for them to see where the bar is at.
No, not at that expense.
They know what
No.
improvements to make.
Not at that expense. No, he could have. Who could he have fought instead of Joyce? But that would have still been able to be like a gaugeometer of where he was.
Probably Fabio Woodley.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. Fabio Wardley doesn't offer enough because he's a prospect as well. So they're never, even though Joe Joyce is a prospect, he's a pedigreed prospect. So they're never going to do. Fabio Wardley is white collar as well. He has no amateur background. So, I mean, it's going to be prospect versus prospect. They didn't want to do that, even though that would have been still a safe way and a good way to gauge what they thought they were going to put. They pushed him straight away to an Olympic medalist.
But I feel like he's going to be able to break that fight down, and like he's going to be able to analyze where he made mistakes for future fights. 100%.
Nah,
What do you guys think about the
he got fast forwarded.
I think they rushed him into that fight.
Yeah, of course they did. They rushed him.
He wasn't ready for that fight yet.
They rushed him. They rushed him way too much.
I thought he fought valiantly up until the point. He was definitely getting outboxed, but he still had.
Yeah, but that fight didn't need to happen. This is what we're saying. He was rushed.
Hold on. We were calling for that fight. We were saying this is a great 50-50 fight. Two domestic fighters making their way up. The last time we had something like that was Joshua versus White, or White versus Joshua. I think he was still there.
Yeah.
I think it was a good fight, and I think it caught a lot of attention. It was always going to be the wrong fight for the fighter that lost, but I was glad the fight got made.
I think they still fast forwarded him.
If Joyce lost, we would have said the same.
No, if Joyce lost, we would have said Joyce has to hang up his gloves.
Yeah, if Joyce was lost, he would have been a long way back.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's bad for whoever lost.
Yeah.
I think in retrospect, we can look at the fight and say that he wasn't ready for Joyce. I mean, it might have been a little rushed. I would agree with what Lady Chann said about rushing him. I think they should maybe Joyce is probably 2 fights down the road, maybe one or two.
That was all. Yeah. I'm not saying they would have had to wait like hours, years to get the Joe Joyce fight, but I just feel that it was mad rushed. I just feel
he definitely got valuable experience in the fight, though. That's for sure.
And a broken orbital bone. I saw Frank Warren say today that basically he's gonna touch base. They got to see when he comes back, when he's allowed to go back into training and stuff like that. So
it might be the end of his career.
Yeah, it could be. I heard he's very down in the dumps. That's what Frank Warren said.
There's a lot of rumors, but let's see, because I definitely think that the bar is gonna be back. Like he's definitely coming back. I can't see him quitting at this stage.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. I want him to come back, but you never know what someone's mental fortitude is. I'm afraid, so we can't speculate on someone's mental health or what's going on in their mind. So
hey, this is off topic, but I want to ask a question. I hear there's a rumor about Eubanks fighting Book. Anybody hear about that?
Oh please, no one wants to see that fight anyway. No one cares. No one cares. Eubanks getting on the nerves anyway. Like he needs to go sit somewhere. He really does.
Nobody think that would be an interesting fight?
Huh?
Nobody thinks that would be an interesting fight?
To be honest, we can't really say much for Eubank Senior. He's still got more to prove.
He's got way more to prove. Talking about Canelo, he's talking about Triple G. Nah, my dude. Triple G will bang him over.
But what about Book? Him and Book. What about him and Book?
Cal Brook is fought at 147. Yeah, Cal Brook can fight at what? So Cal Brook, he went from 154. He went from 154. I think he's fought at 160 before. But then he's gone all the way to 147 to fight Bud. And now and lost devastatingly. Now you want him to go all the way up to fight Chris Eubank. Mate, you're not worth my hassle. Chris Eubank Jr. is not worth the hassle of doing
saying that Chris Eubank Jr. had a long camp with Roy Jones Jr. where he's learned a lot of new skills. So I don't think that we should disregard him as of yet. But let's get back onto topic anyways.
Yeah.
Which was heavyweight prospects.
Yeah. So, has anyone else got any more heavyweight prospects or heavyweight anything in general?
There's Solomon Dakries.
Yeah.
Who's coming up?
Anybody heard of him?
No.
And how old is he?
Tommy
Give us
Fury.
his stats. Give us his stats. How old? Age, height, reach.
No, as in he was in the amateurs and now he's turning pro.
Has he turned pro yet?
Yeah, he's just turned pro, so he's gonna have his debut pretty soon. And then we have Tommy Fury, so Tyson Fury's younger brother.
I saw that. God, guys, that's what I wanted to say. Who I just want to discount, I think he's overhyped because of his surname, is Huey Fury.
Yeah, he's
rubbish. What are your thoughts, guys? I just say it. He's rubbish. But I
wouldn't say rubbish.
He's taken dangerous fights. He's not lost any fights that he should have won.
Because he fought Pulev, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he went to Bulgaria and fought. So it was,
But remember, his age is way younger than these people.
He's been around a long time.
Well, 26,
now.
Yeah.
But he's taken on dangerous fights. And when you take on dangerous fights, I liked him against Wack. I liked his last fight against Wack.
You liked that last fight on the undercard the other day? I
liked it. He tried a different style. Normally, we say how boring his boxing was. He was on the front foot this time. It wasn't bad.
Do you know how bad that was?
Enjoyable fight. Come on, Chann.
That was so bad. The geezer that he fought was he was like an 8-foot Andre the Giant, right? And he was staggering, he was 40, 41 years old.
Marius Wack went 10 rounds with Dylan White.
And the geezer weighed like 20 stone. It was such a bad fight. And this is what I'm saying, yeah? And they was Hugh Fury did the best, XYZ. But then, because he was on the Pulev undercard, right? And then everybody's got mad critiques about how Joshua beat a 39-year-old Pulev with ease and pizzazz and everything. But yet, Huey Fury went to points with this guy that could have been his dad, old enough to be his dad, and was in the poorest physical shape. It was grim. It was grim. The guy looked like Andre the Giant. If anybody remembers WWF, this is who Huey Fury was fighting. Awful.
I saw a different fight. I saw a different style completely. He wasn't so defensively minded. He was very much on the front foot.
Yeah.
He was letting go.
Anyone could
He slugged it out.
Yeah, but he gassed out in that fight as well. At one point, there was just slugfested.
When you're having a slugfest, you will get tired with a bit of a rest. It takes your energy very much.
Awful. You're 26 years old. You're supposedly a great prospect. You're on the undercard of the person that you actually fought, and obviously he beat you. I can see why, but fair play, you actually fought him, and then you fight this guy that's old enough to be your dad, not ranked anywhere, and nobody really knows anything about him, and went 12 rounds. Get out.
He's Marius Wack is
Get out of here. Huey Fury, get out of here.
He's
Well,
still got a
have you,
couple
have you
years,
got
man.
have you got any
Couple, he's got a few more. He can go another 10.
Yeah, he could.
awful Smoke? Do you know anything about Huey Fury? TBE, do you know anything about Huey Fury?
I mean, I've actually seen him fight. I mean, I've heard of him naturally because he's Fury's brother, but I never.
Please
watched
go
him.
and watch the undercard just for me, and then we can talk about it another time, right? TBE, we're going to talk about it. But I need you to watch the fight to see if you saw what I saw, if you saw, just see whatever you saw. And also, Smoke, I'd like you to watch it as well. Please watch the fight.
Which the undercard for which fight?
For the Joshua Pulev.
Okay, all right, yeah, I'll check it out then. Yeah, I want to see it. I've been hearing a lot about him lately, though, for some reason. I mean, he's been popping up here and there. So, what you saying? He's no good?
He's, in my opinion, he's trash, right? And the only reason why they're building him up, saying that he's great, he's not even got his man strength. It's because he's Tyson Fury's nephew or cousin. Like he's called Huey Fury.
No, I think he's done decent so far in his career.
He hasn't got his man strength. He's 26. You've been had your man strength. They're talking about Teofimo Lopez has his man strength and he's 22, 23. This big 7 foot oaf. What do you mean he hasn't got his man strength? What do you mean? He's like 300 pounds and 7 foot. This is wild to me. Please watch it, TVE. Smoke, I don't know if he's there. He's on mute. But if you can hear me.
No, I'm here. Listen, Marius Wack was good enough for Dillian White. He was good enough for a lot of guys in his day. Did he look like crap? Yeah, he did. But hey, if Huey Fury can throw some hands, maybe there's some hope for Adrian Broner. Maybe he'll go back to get in his time machine too and find out where his punches are.
Did you see the fight though?
I did. I thought Huey Fury was trying to perfect the new style of boxing where you win fights without throwing punches. But in that fight, I was like, hey, wait a minute. He looks like a normal, regular heavyweight. Okay, maybe there's something to Huey Fury that I saw. I remember the Huey Fury from the Andy Ruiz fight.
Yeah.
And where he moved around, and if he threw a few more shots, it could have gone a different way. It could have been a different result. And then I saw the Huey Fury in the Pulev fight, and then I saw the Huey Fury in that anyway. So I
kind of just a great prospect because after that fight, they was like, yeah, he's going to world level.
Yeah,
are you a prospect if you fought for the champ? Didn't he fight for a title? He's a challenger. Like that's what I find kind of weird about the guys like Hergovich and Joe Joyce. Like calling Huey Fury a prospect and these guys a prospect. Like he is the most accomplished prospect of them all. Like if we're still just talking about him in terms of being a prospect, but I don't see him that way. I see him as a challenger, right? He's just not a very.
He went for a world title already. This is what I'm saying. So this is what you can't be a prospect if you.
Was there world title? Was there final eliminator? Was that the so if he had beat Pulev, wouldn't he have been fighting AJ just now?
Yeah, I think he was mandatory. Yeah.
Yeah, right. If he would, that would have been Fury. Yep. He fought for the title and fought for an eliminator that Dillian White passed up.
I would still consider him a prospect with more experience than the average prospect.
You're not a prospect if you went for a world title.
He's been in enough fights to be not called a prospect.
Yeah, he can't. He's been in too many fights.
Top level fights.
He can't fight Povetkin and didn't he fight? But Povetkin, Walk, Ruiz, all of these guys are, the championship level.
All I can say is we haven't seen the prime Huey Fury yet.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean just because we haven't seen the prime, he's not a prospect. He's not a prospect.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's definitely not a prospect. And for me, he's just not the guy for me. But
he's fighting for a world title again.
I don't know where he goes next. I can't remember where they said
he'll get another shot. He'll get
another shot. Yeah, definitely. But I don't know where he goes.
Hasn't had a shot yet. He's had a shot for a final eliminator. He hasn't had a world title shot, has he?
Yeah.
But he will get his shot, and I think he'll be deserved.
Yeah, I think in like 3-4 years, 5, he could be a champion, right? Like if he can wait guys out.
Yeah.
I mean, this current crop is already a little bit beat to hell, right?
For sure. For sure. Karma, I said the same thing. She's interested in David Adelaide. He's sparred with both AJ and Fury. I was telling that to my friend a couple of days ago, and he's a great prospect. He's like 24 from out 23, 24 from out of West London. He's sparred with both AJ and Fury. He said, I think he gave the pros and cons of both AJ and Fury. But he said once they fought, but it's a bit biased because he's on the Frank Warren team. So he said that he felt that Fury has what it takes. He feels that he would beat AJ. Well, that could be an honest, unbiased opinion, but also I'm saying, although he's sparred both of them, he's signed by Frank Warren. So you're not really going to say, I think AJ would beat, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a great heavyweight. I would say that he's a good prospect to just keep looking out for. Yeah, because he bangs. Big lad from, I think he's Nigerian descent.
Yeah, so I said Big Baby Miller, but I meant Big Baby Anderson. His name's Jared Anderson, 21-year-old guy out of the Midwest, on Top Rank. He's one to watch. 6'4", 6'4".
What's his name? So I can write it down. What's his name?
Jared Anderson. He goes by Big Baby.
Oh, he goes like Big Baby Miller.
No, but his name is Anderson.
Yeah.
His nickname is Big Baby. He's another Big Baby, but his name is Jared Anderson.
Yeah, he might need to change it.
I think so. I don't know why grown men would walk around call themselves big babies, but
and you don't want it mixed up. And when you're doing Google searches, that he comes up as the PED guy. You've got to be careful.
Hey! At this point, if he can distinguish himself, he probably needs all the publicity he can get. So if he can distinguish himself from his fists and ride that dude's coattails, it is what it is. We live in
you don't want to be riding tainted, dirty through the mud coattails.
You just try fighting in obscurity. If you got to get punched in the face, you might as well have people know that you're getting punched in the face, right?
I don't know. You see things a bit different, but hey, we're all